Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Krystle, just in case you are new here, and today I have a book haul for you guys. So I would say in the past like 6 months, 6 to 8 months, I have purchased some books. I really tried so hard to be on a book buying ban, but I think from not doing videos for so long, I was having some serious FOMO from that. So I put the energy of my FOMO into purchasing books as therapy, basically, replacing the therapy of filming with that. So I have a decent amount of books here. I have some really popular ones, some special editions. I think I have a thriller thrown in here somewhere, but I'm really excited about all of these books, and I did a huge unhaul, which you can kind of see some like empty spaces on my shelves. So I'm excited to put these books into those areas and just freshen up my shelves for the new year. It's time to revamp everything, so what better than to start fresh than with a fresh new book haul. I don't really have like a particular order that I do book hauls in. I just put the stacks of books in front of me, and whatever book I pick up, that's what I'm going to talk about. So yeah, let's just dive right in. The first book I have here is Metal Slinger by Rachel Schneider. Now this book has been pretty popular, I would say, on booktube as of recently. So many people are saying that they love this. They're comparing it to Throne of Glass, but a little bit more adult. It sounds really good. It sounds very unique. To me, the setting seems very unique. I know it's being, you know, compared to Throne of Glass, but it just seems like the atmosphere and the type of setting that it is, and even the type of character that it is, that I may read this and not compare it to anything. And that's what I'm not really loving lately, is that everyone's just always comparing everything. And why can't books just be something of themselves, you know? So this seems like that's what it's going to be, and I'm excited to get into it. If you read this and loved this, let me know. If you read this and didn't love this, let me know. Just kind of keep spoilers to yourself. I love to see the yin and the yang in my comments. Just be nice to each other. Then I have two really beautiful special editions that I just could not resist when I saw them in Barnes & Noble. I have One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, the Barnes & Noble special editions. The end pages of these books are so, the end pages are so beautiful. As you could tell, they're just so nice. And then you have the window. And just like the sprayed edges are just so, I just love these books. And I can't wait to read these copies. I did read One Dark Window, I think it was last year when I was pregnant, and honestly, baby brain, I don't remember a thing. I know I enjoyed it, and it's such a concept that I would love, and the type of world that I love gothic romance. I just love a gothic setting. I am a tarot card reader. I love tarot cards. Anything that has to do with like some type of magic, oracle, all that stuff, I'm so into it. So this seems like a perfect series for me, and what's more perfect than a 2-book duology? It's like amazing. This book is stunning. I love the colors, the red, and then the sprayed edges. It's kind of reversed. It's like red and black on both, but it's like reversed red and black on the edges, and then same thing with the end papers as well. Just so beautiful, and it just makes me excited to read. I know that books like this, you know, you fall into consumerism with books like these, but how could you resist? Like, this makes me want to pick up this book and read it just for how beautiful it is. And who wouldn't want to walk around and sit, oh my God. Who wouldn't want to sit and read such a beautiful book on like a nice, cozy, rainy day? It's beautiful. It's just so beautiful. Thank you, Barnes & Noble, for the beautiful special editions you've been putting out there in this world. And then next I have here The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson. Mary E. Pearson has written so many series over the years, especially famous ones from the young adult genre that is well loved over the years. I've never read anything from Mary E. Pearson, but I just have had her books on my TBRs for so long, and I think it may be more of like the style of the physical book, of like what it looks like, that doesn't draw me to her books. I'm not sure, but whenever I read the synopsises of the books, I add them to my TBR. They all sound great. They're all fantasy and there is romance, but this is her new, I want to say it's like a new adult fantasy, maybe? I don't know much about this book, but I have seen a lot of polarizing reviews on this book, and I'm not exactly sure why. I think it has to do with like the type of reader. I think people are looking into this book for more of a romance heavy plot, and I feel that it might be a heavier on the fantasy side of the plot, and I think that's why it might be a little disappointing for people. So I can't wait to pick this up and read this for myself, because I am the type of reader that I do love romance, and I love dark romance, and I love those types of ideas, and I love that type of stuff in books. I just don't love it to be the main center of the plot. I enjoy being transported to new worlds. I enjoy plot. I enjoy intrigue. I enjoy just learning about the characters in general. So I'm curious to see if this might be something that I really enjoy, because it's not heavy on the steamy, heavy romance stuff. We shall see. But yeah, looking forward to this one. I have another beautiful sprayed edge book, and that is The Stars Are Dying, and I picked this up at Target. Obviously I still have the sticker on here because removing stickers gives me anxiety. This is beautiful too. Like the end pages are gold and shiny, and then the best part is this part of the book. I love when the hardback itself is printed and that there's stuff on it. In the back it says, "When fall's night, the world will drown in starlight." Just so beautiful. It just sounds like it's like a very interesting situation here, because I want to say it's like not outer space, but like I don't really know, but it's like another planet maybe. But it's vampires and fae, and it just sounds good. It doesn't have the best reviews on Goodreads, I will say that. So I'm wondering if it's, you know, a pacing issue, not sure, but I'm looking forward to getting to it because it sounds like something that's right up my alley, and I just love how stunning this book is. Another beautiful book that makes me want to sit and read it just by the way it looks, and I just love that this has, you know, the sword going through the word. It's just so pretty. It says, 500 years ago, something changed. Everyone felt it, like the world was cracking, like something had stepped into the realm that was never supposed to be there. I think everyone knew the golden age the Star Maiden had ushered in was about to be shaken like the stars that began to die out. So it's the first in the series. Nightfall. Interesting. And next I have a new favorite, and that is the Zodiac Academy, Book 2, Ruthless Fae. Currently reading, currently loving, obsessed. I just don't know how I'm going to get all of these books read, but I need to. I am in love with Solaria. I'm in love with these characters so far, and I just know it's an addiction, this series. Everyone that I know that has read this is obsessed, so I'm right there with you guys on this one. So I can't wait to get through this. And this is definitely my #1 priority this year, is finishing Zodiac Academy. And I would love to just read it in the order that you're supposed to read it. I know the first 3 books come first, and then the Ruthless Boys, I think 4 books in that come after that. I don't know, I have to double check on that again, but I'm all in. I'm all in on this series right now. It's everything that I love in a urban fantasy, dark romance situation. It's just chef's kiss. The next I have here, The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. I really love The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I am going to be reading The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, but I bought this, but now I'm like hearing the worst things about this book and I'm so upset about it, but I need to have it for my collection, and I'm hoping that when I do decide to pick this up, I'm going to have, you know, a very positive outlook on it. It's such a beautiful book. Like, how could you not love this book? This is the tale of how a chosen one falls. I heard that it does have trials in it, which really worked for the first book, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, only because of how well it was portrayed, and I liked the reason for the trials and all of that. Like I said previously in other videos, that like I'm very picky about books that have trials in them because it's just been done so many times in the YA books that I read when I was truly a young adult. So it was very oversaturated, like how Fae is oversaturated today. So it needs to be like a very unique take on trials, otherwise it just doesn't do much for me. So but I'm looking forward to continuing on with anything Carissa Broadbent writes because I really enjoy her writing. I think she's a beautiful writer, and everything that I read from her has been amazing. So we'll see. But beautiful book, beautiful publishing. I'm loving all these beautiful special editions. Almost like every edition is a special edition. Like, should I even be calling it special edition? Because to me it's special. They look different than normal books. I have books that don't even have anything underneath the dust jackets, you know. It's just plain color, no end paper, it's just plain white, you know. So I don't know, but I love everything that publishers are doing. I'm just not liking how expensive books are becoming now because of it, but they are beautiful. They are. And here's another one, Heavenbreaker, and this is by Sarah Wolf, which I don't think I've been doing authors. I'm so sorry. Like, I don't think I've been doing authors on all these books, but it's okay. This is another beautiful story, beautiful book. I mean, the end pages, not end pages, are they end pages? Sprayed edges. Why do I keep calling these end pages? Sprayed edges, gorgeous. I love this. So much detail. Like, I don't even know how they do this, really. I know maybe it's a stencil or something, but it's beautiful. And then here are the end pages. This is just so cool. This is like a little bit of a sci-fi fantasy romance. Sounds great. I like genre bending books sometimes. It's a nice little palette cleanser from my usual like fantasy romances and romances that I read. I mean, fantasies and fantasy romances that I read. I should probably take this 50% off sticker off, but I did get it at the Barnes & Noble sale because it's beautiful, and I wanted to wait to purchase this so I can get it for the 50% off. I had a feeling it was going to be a part of that sale. But when this book first came out, I did see it for pre-order, and I wasn't sure because I saw some mixed reviews, early reviews, but it seems like this book is going to be a big hit. So far it's been doing really well and people are loving it, and I'm looking forward to seeing if I'm going to love it too. The next I have my favorite book of the year, and that is Quicksilver by Kelly Hart. I loved this book so much, and when I saw this gorgeous floppy paperback in Barnes & Noble, I couldn't resist. I originally owned the independent copy with the like sword on the cover, and I sold it on Pango, and I'm kind of regretting it now, but I just prefer paperbacks like this. Like, the other one was just so stiff, but I'm probably going to regret that decision most likely, but I sold that one so I could buy this one. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. But yeah, this book was my favorite book of the year. This was the perfect amount of fantasy and romance for me. This was just like the perfect potion for my fantasy loving heart. Oh, I can't wait to reread this. I'm Going to wait because I think the second book is coming out closer to the fall, but I can't wait. I just love Kingfisher is just everything. He's just everything. He's just everything. And even Saris, I don't even know if I'm saying her name right. This is what I did with Feyre too when I first read ACOTAR. I just kept saying it in my head because I wasn't sure if I was pronouncing it right, and what I was saying in my head was not the same thing that was coming out of my mouth. I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys, but that's like the worst thing ever because you're like saying it up here, but it's just not coming out the right way, whatever. But Saris, loved her as a character so much. Sometimes our females can be a little whiny and a little piney, and I loved her. I thought everything about this book was perfect. I don't have one bad thing to say about this book. Not one. Next, I also picked up Throne of Secrets by Kerri Maniscalco. I still have to finish reading Throne of the Fallen. I'm not sure how I was feeling about that book at the time, but I think it was right book, wrong time for me because I love Kerri Maniscalco's books. I've read almost all of her books so far. Love her writing so much. I think her books just totally grabbed me. But something about Throne of the Fallen, I just wasn't ready to read it. I think it's more of a springtime book for me, and I was trying to read it in the fall because it is about the princes of hell, and I thought it was going to be a nice like spooky time type read, but I was getting more spring vibes than fall vibes while reading it, and just the cover itself, the pretty pink with the florals, just is spring. So I think I'm going to revisit that in the spring, and then I will follow up. This is the second book in the series, but you don't have to read, you can read them all as standalones, I think. So this is about one of the seven princes of hell, right? Is that what it is? So this is about Gluttony, Prince Gluttony. Interesting concept. I really like the concept of the princes of hell. So yeah, looking forward to getting into this. And by the way, I don't know if other people in the country, but they're putting this in the YA section in my Barnes & Noble in Freehold, New Jersey. And I'm concerned about that decision. So let me know if anyone else has noticed that in their Barnes & Nobles. Like, is this considered YA? Because the genre is changing for sure then, because I don't think this book belongs in YA and Throne of the Fallen, from what I've heard. Then next, I have Wisteria by Adeline Grace. I love the Belladonna series. This is the third book in that series. It's just, these books are just so pretty. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, the dust jacket is beautiful, but this is what, I just can't give up. I can't pass up books that look like this. I just feel like I'm in a fairy tale while holding this book. It's just so pretty. Love this series, highly recommend this series. It is a gothic romance YA. So if you don't like some spooky elements, I wouldn't recommend this. It does get pretty spooky at times, but I love that it's gothic romance with like a mystery involved. And I can't wait to see how this series wraps up. This is the final book in the series. I really can't. The second book left on such a book hangover for me that I needed to take a break before I picked up the third one. But yeah, I really love this series. I highly recommend it. I really, really do. And I've seen mixed things, but if you like my reading taste, and if you're someone who has come from like reading horror, I feel like you would like this. Because I used to, if you look at my past videos, I used to read a lot of horror books. Read a lot of fantasy. Fantasy's always been a thing, but horror books and thrillers were big for me as well. But as I became a mom and having more worries, I just kind of stay a little bit away from certain horror books that I used to read. But these types of series, gothic horror, I love. Spooky books, not like super scary books, but spooky, like a little ooh. Okay, so I needed to change the battery on my camera, so the lighting might look a little different for a second. My hair looks a little flatter, but we are going to continue on with this book haul. So I have here another third book in a series, and that is Sky Shade by Alex Astor. I had read Light Lark many moons ago, loved the book, didn't continue on with it. The series, I don't know why. I think I wanted to wait until the series was done because of how quickly I read the first book. I think I read it in one sitting, and for me, I'm a slow reader, but I must have had a day where I could sit and I read the whole thing. So I wanted to probably just finish the series in one shot. So this is apparently the final book in the series, so now I'm looking forward to finishing. Problem with that is I really don't remember much from the first book, so I think I'm going to have to reread the first book in order to just wrap up the series. But I have heard such great things about the series and how it wraps up and all of that fun stuff, so looking forward to getting to this maybe by the summer. I feel like this is going to be a good like summer series to just binge on the beach or something like that. And then I have a question to ask myself. Krystle, how many fantasy series are you in the middle of right now? This is a serious problem for me because, and I'm starting series this year as well. I plan on starting some series. I need to make a video for you guys of all the series that I'm in the middle of, and we need to figure this out because this is just too much. So the next book I hauled is The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen. I was gonna say Danielle J. Jensen. That doesn't sound right. I love the covers of these books that they redid. It's a little bit, you can see my ring light. I'm filming at night right now because baby's sleeping, so. This series sounds so good to me, and it's like one of those series that I am afraid to pick up because I know I'm going to love it. That's just the vibe that it gives me all the way, and every time I hear people talk about how great this series is, I'm just so ready to pick it up, but I'm also like scared because it's going to be a new favorite. I know it's going to be a new favorite, so this has to happen this year. Please check in on me, make me read this series, let me know your thoughts, but I just feel this is my series. I just do. I have a beautiful book that is just speaks to me so lovely. This is The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. I have read Sarah Penner a couple books, I think, by this person. I own 2 other copies of The Lost Apothecary, never read it. So I need to read this book because, not for nothing, look how gorgeous this thing is. So the butterfly, in case you guys didn't know, I have butterfly tattoos on my arms. I love butterflies. It's just a huge, meaningful symbol in my life. It's guided me out of a lot of the darkest parts of my life. So I see a book with butterflies on sprayed edges and I will die for it. This is absolutely stunning, and the blue that they used with the purples and the gold, oh, it's just stunning. And then when you open up the end pages, look at this. It's just an apothecary. This is me. This is me in a book. This is all my vibes. Crystals, apothecaries, plants. Oh, I'm just so, I need to read this book. Why haven't I read this book? Why haven't I read this book, guys? Why? Look at this. I need to read this. Look at this. So, don't really know what it's about. I think it's about a woman poisoning men slowly or something like that. It says, in 18th century London, women whisper of a hidden apothecary shop that caters to an unusual kind of clientele. The mysterious owner Nella sells well-disguised poisons to women to use against the oppressive men in their lives. But Nella's fate is jeopardized when her newest patron, a precocious 12-year-old named Eliza Fanning, makes a fatal mistake, sparking a string of consequences that echo through the centuries. 200 years later, aspiring historian Caroline Parswell is running from her own demons when she discovers a clue to London's long unsolved apothecary murders. Caroline's upended present soon collides with an explosive history, binding her fate to Nella's and Eliza's in a stunning twist that transcends the barrier of time. This sounds so good. Like, why haven't I read this yet? I actually sent this book to my cousin years ago because I thought she would love it because it just sounded like something she would love. And she read it and I haven't. So this is a must. This has to happen. Yes, so love this book. It's beautiful. If you love butterflies too, go get yourself a copy. It's a Barnes & Noble collector's edition. I think it's just Barnes & Noble. I'm not sure. It could just be everywhere, but it's a collector's edition of The Lost Apothecary. And next, I have 2 books in a series that I was recommended by an influencer that I follow. Just Classically Cassidy. Love her. If you don't follow her, follow her. I think she might be at 1 million now. I'm not sure, but she is just my fashion icon ever. Her sister works in publishing and has recommended her all the books that she likes to read, and she loves like urban fantasy, like YA. She's read Crave and loved it, so like she's in that, like totally reads the same types of books that I love. And she recommends this series, so House of Marion by J.L. and Shadows of Pearl. This just sounds so good. It's witchy, urban YA fantasy. Sounds so good, and it's like ball gowns and it just sounds so much fun. It really sounds like a fun series, and I don't think it gets enough like recognition, this series. So I'm looking forward to reading this. I really can't wait. And the cover is just so beautiful. And I want to say, I think, yeah, look at the end pages. So pretty. So, so pretty. And look at the hard copy. It's just so pretty and girly. Like, I'm very, very much into the girliness, but like magic, badassery. There's some pretty butterflies on it. It just, I don't know. If this world is made of glass, then I will dance with a hammer in my hand. I need to know what that's about. What is that about? Yeah, this sounds like a great series. So let me know if you read it. Let me know what you think. But I think this is, you know, if more people read this, I think it might become a very popular series eventually. I have a big chunker here, and that is Malice by John Gwynne. I have been wanting to read this for so long. I actually owned the series, unhauled it because I got so intimidated. I didn't think I was going to read it. And now that I'm a couple years older, I kind of regret that decision on selling those books because now I have to rebuy them. But yes, looking forward to getting to this month. This is on my TBR this month. And yes, looking forward to getting into this series, a new high fantasy series, you know, that's not focused on romance all the time. I miss reading books like this too. I'm excited for this. Did I say that already? I think I said that already. I'm losing my mind. But yes, Malice by John Gwynne. Beautiful, floppy fantasy paperback. Then I have a huge chunker of a book, and I want to say the second one's coming out in May. The Will of the Many by James Islington. This book has gotten so much praise in the last year that I'm getting FOMO. I need to know what it's about. People are comparing it to like George R. R. Martin status, and I need to know what's up with that. So yes, looking forward to getting into this. Really don't know what it's about. Don't know what type of like era we're supposed to be in. I think it's like a dark academia style book. I'm not sure from what I've heard, but even the synopsis is pretty vague on that front. I'm really curious to see where this book takes me, and I don't want to read too much about it. I just want to jump right in. I just want to jump right into The Will of the Many. I want this to be a favorite book of the year. Just like so many people have said, it's their favorite book of the year. No matter what books you're into, apparently this book supersedes everything. I need to know. I need to know. Then I have this beautiful Blood Over Bright Haven, which I have heard amazing things about this, by Emma Wong. This book does not have anything on the cover, but look how shiny like the black is. Oh, that's nice. beautiful map on the inside. Now this is a dark academia book, and I've heard that the ending really puts you in your seat. So I'm looking forward into getting into this. And I love a good dark academia book on a dark winter day. So hopefully I get to this in February. I'm thinking, because there's some red here, that this might be a great book to add to the February TBR. And then I have 2 books that I need to get into that are part of a series, and that is Spark of the Everflame and Glow of the Everflame. These covers, oh my god, they are so beautiful, and I am so happy that the publishers did not change them, because these are the same covers from the independently published books, and they were so beautiful. And I prayed to the publishing gods, please don't change these covers, make them better if anything, and they did, and they delivered, and they're so beautiful, so beautiful. Love, love, love. And look at this. I don't know if you can really see the detail on the hard. You really can't. You can't see it. But the end papers, this series just sounds like something I am going to be obsessed with, and I cannot wait to get into it. As I've said about every book, I should just like superimpose cannot wait and just like copy and paste every time with a book. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting to this series. I've heard nothing but great things about it. I love that it's not a fae story, that it's about gods, and it just sounds great. It just sounds so good. Let me know if you read it down in the comments below. So when I purchased these books, I bought the mass paperback, like the bricks, because I thought it'd be cool. I felt like it was like old school to read books like that, but I can't see shit for the life of me getting older. So I repurchased The Way of Kings in the large floppy paperback, and I'm loving this. I'm loving reading this like this, and I'm going to have to just repurchase all of, oh, I had tea the other night, and I definitely got honey on the back of my book. Ugh. I hate when that happens. I'm probably gonna have to repurchase all of these books anyway, because I just can't. The bigger that they get, I need a bigger book to see, and I don't want to read it on my Kindle, because watching the bottom of my Kindle, like reading 8 pages and not even making a dent in the percentage, is kind of disheartening. So I'd rather just read the brick. So I'm loving this too, by the way. I am challenging myself to like kind of read like a chapter or 2 a day, whether it's in the morning with my coffee or at night with my tea. So this way I can make a dent in this book. And then throughout the day, I'm listening or reading Zodiac Academy or something else that I'm like really into right now. But this is my like main priority read for the month, because I've been trying to read this book for years and I just need to get through it. And then I have here this beautiful gothic beauty, and that is Anathema by Carrie Lake. I started Nocticadia and never finished it. I don't know why. I was enjoying it, so I need to pick it back up, but I may pick this up first. This sounds so up my alley, and this just sounds witchy and gothic and spooky and just all the vibes I love. This sounds like the perfect book for me. Perfect. So if you know me for a while watching my channel, you know how much I love witchy things, and like I consider myself a witch. So if this just sounds like it has all of those vibes, and I love that for me. So looking for, oh, I don't want to give spoilers away, so let's go to the beginning here. Let's see. I think it's dual point of view, is that right? Yeah. But look at the crow with the moon. Oh, that's so cute. This book is cute. This is really cute. I'm really excited. Ah, look at this. The page. The first page. Stop. Chapter 1. 211 years ago. Wow. And there are trigger warnings, so please, if you're going to pick this up, check your trigger warnings before reading it. Me, I don't need to read. I really don't look up trigger warnings. I just, if I start reading something I don't like, I either skip over it or just DNF the book. But I know there are people out there sensitive to that, so just make sure if you're reading any type of dark romance or dark anything, look up trigger warnings. Anything can have triggers in them. I know the love hypothesis, I made a mistake once and I recommended that to a friend who was suffering from cancer, and I didn't realize that there was a slight bit of cancer content in there that was a little triggering for her. So trigger warnings are huge, so make sure you check those out for yourself and for your loved ones. Then I have here the Sword of Kaigan by Emma Wong. I am very much looking forward to finishing this. I'm on chapter 6. This has been my nighttime reading before I go to bed, and I feel like I may regret that because the content's pretty heavy, but I can't put it down when I'm reading it. So I'm limiting myself to a chapter a night at the moment, just so I'm not up all night reading. But this book sounds so good so far. Loving it. And this was a favorite book of a lot of YouTubers this past year, so I need to know my opinion. And I will know my opinion very soon. My book of the month picks for the month, and I have A Sea of Unspoken Things by Adrienne Young. I have The Road of Bones by Demi Winters. Really pretty cover for book of the month. And A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. I always get Kate Alice Marshall's books in book of the month. I feel like I'm collecting her books but not reading them. I don't know why I do that, but one day I'm just gonna have to make a whole video on Kate Alice Marshall's books and call it a day. So that is it. That was a very long book haul, and I have a lot of books to read this year. I think this is all the books that I could possibly read in a year, but we shall see if I get to any of these. But that is all I have for you today. If you like my channel, please like and subscribe down below. I am trying to make my way back into this world after being absent for so long. I love booktube. I love being here. I love talking about books with you guys. And make sure you're following me on all my social medias. They are down below. I think my TikTok might still be up, but I know TikTok is going to be gone very soon, so I'm not posting anything on there anymore. But my Fable is linked down below. Goodreads, Instagram, follow me on there. So on that note, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching and welcoming me back to this corner of the internet. I will be talking to all of you guys soon, and let me know if you've picked up any of these books recently and what your favorite special editions are. Leave your comments down below, and I will be talking to all you guys soon. Bye!